This week's episode is brought to you by Marco's Pizza. Monday and Tuesday nights are Carroll U nights at Marco's Pizza in Waukesha. Mention you're a Carroll student and receive 25% off your entire online or delivery order. Marco's Pizza, every store, every day, the Italian way. Welcome back, everybody, to this week's episode of the See You in Van Mail podcast. Once again, my name is Sam Govert, your host. Joining us today, she's back, Brooke Foster from the women's basketball team. Brooke, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you back. How does it feel to be back on?
No, it feels great. I miss it. Freshman year was a great time with you guys. Loved working with y'all. But it feels good to be on the other side now.
Yeah, this time answering all the questions instead of asking them. This will be fun.
Yep.
Good. So for those who didn't get a chance to listen last year, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit? Tell us, what sport you play, what year you are, and why don't we, for Thanksgiving theme, why don't you throw in your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
All right. So my name is Brooke Foster, and I'm a sophomore here at Carroll. I double major in communication and Spanish, and I'm number 11 on the Carroll women's basketball team. Um, so far, my freshman year went really well. We had like a full season. Um, Classes went great freshman year, and now sophomore year, we're all chugging through it. Everybody is doing a great job, I feel like. And a big thanks to the administration for letting us return because I know a lot of students can't. All my friends, maybe in other places, going to other colleges, they're not as lucky to return like we are. So, yeah, here I am. My second year is going as good as it can be. And my favorite dish at Thanksgiving would have to be stuffing or the bread rolls. I can't decide. Both of them are the best. Half of my plate is stuffing, quarter of it is bread, and then a little bit for everything else.
That sounds just like my plate too.
Yeah.
Do you go homemade or do you go the box stuffing, the stovetop?
Gosh, I really wish I knew what my parents used because we have the same type of stuffing every year, and I think it might be a box. It might be from a box,
Mm-hmm.
but it tastes just as good as homemade would.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite sure, but either way, my grandma makes all the good homemade dishes. So it's always good to have her dishes at Thanksgiving too.
I'm looking forward to that now. That just got me excited. I'm ready.
Yeah.
2 weeks can't come fast enough.
Right.
So, Brooke, why don't you talk a little bit about your basketball career here last season? Why don't you talk a little bit about how did you get into basketball and when did the love for basketball start?
So I've been playing basketball since first grade, and I started at a really young age. But it was never my favorite sport because my number one sport, all the way up until eighth grade, was soccer. I was soccer 100% all the way. Um, but I started juggling between the two sports, and like basketball kind of overcame my heart. Like when it came down to deciding whether I wanted to play or not, I eventually chose basketball over soccer, which kind of shocked a lot of people because I've always played soccer. So about eighth grade, I think it was. I mean, I started club at a young age too, but it wasn't until eighth grade where it really pulled me closer to like club basketball, travel basketball. Um, Definitely some of the best summers of my life, club basketball. I'm sure other athletes who travel basketball can relate. Going all around the country is just so much fun. It's such a privilege to just go all these different places and play against all these different people. So eventually, I chose basketball. Definitely did never regret my decision. I literally am so happy that I chose basketball. So
Good.
yeah.
Yeah. What do you think are some of the big things that um, that maybe you learned from soccer that kind of helped you through the way with basketball then too?
Well, the one thing about my soccer team, my club soccer team that I played with for a while, for like 8 years, I was so like we were like a sisterhood. Um, I don't know, I just always think back to all of our memories. We were young, so we really didn't have to like feel the pressure that we do now. So it was so easy to just like have the most fun we could possibly have and like make the most out of everything without feeling like the pressure that we do when we get older. So I feel like my soccer like experience really like taught me how to be like a really good teammate, like in that aspect, being like a good friend. So like that sisterhood aspect of it, I feel like that was really ingrained when I was younger. So that team oriented type characteristics that I'd probably developed in my soccer years definitely transferred over to like now my basketball years, and it's like they're both team sports. There's so many comparisons, like so many connections, like the court and the field and like spacing and chemistry and communication and all that. They just are hand in hand. So a lot of it helped me with basketball.
Good. Yeah, I can see that the the relationships that you came out of it. I can see you building that with your other teammates here at now Carroll. So that's really cool that you got that out of it. How's if somebody handed you a soccer ball, how well would you able to get back out there quickly? Would it take a little bit, or are you a little rusty?
See, the thing is, soccer is very tedious, and I feel like I use my hands every day, so basketball, it's harder to forget. But my feet with a soccer ball, it might take a couple weeks. I'll tell you that.
I don't blame you. No,
Yeah.
it would take me a while too. I played
Mhm.
soccer for 1 year in fifth grade, and that was when everybody just kicked the ball around
Oh,
each other.
yeah.
There was no passing. Yeah, that was rough, but good. I'm glad you found your niche here at basketball because we love to have you here. What are at what point did you decide like, you know what, I think college basketball is in my future, and then what did you decide that Carroll basketball was in your future?
Well, it's kind of interesting because those two decisions were made at the same time. When I decided, like, when I got into high school, like, obviously I was already thinking, like, college basketball. But the only place I ever wanted to play basketball would be Carroll. So the main decision was whether I wanted to play basketball or not. And if I did play basketball, it would be automatically Carroll. So it was easy. It was like deciding whether I wanted to study somewhere big at a bigger school and like go into that college experience with like more focus on like what I wanted to be when I grew up type thing, or go to like Carroll and play basketball. And since I never really like I still don't know what I want to do or what I really want to like be when I grow up, I thought like that the option of playing basketball and going to Carroll would be better, and then like rather than going to like a bigger school with something I already have in my head that I want to study and be. But I also just once the basketball season ended my senior year of high school, I like knew that it couldn't be over. Like I have to play. So then I definitely just set my mind on going to Carroll. And the funny thing is, I have like, I have a lot of relatives who have like graduated from Carroll, so people at my school would always be like, "Oh, you're obviously going to go to Carroll, right?" And I would just get so mad. Like, "No, I'm not going to go to Carroll. You don't know what my future holds." Like that that really put me like going against Carroll at all costs. So I was like, "No way am I going to Carroll." And one of the gym teachers at Prairie, who went to Carroll as well, said, "Well, my dad went to Carroll, and I went through the same thing that you're going through, and you never know. Like, you're telling me right now you're not going to Carroll, but you never know." And he's right. Here I am. I made the good decision.
Yeah.
But
No,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, I can definitely see where that would be annoying, and that could get to you when people just put you in a cookie cutter category, like, oh, of course, she's just gonna go to Carol. Like, no, it's
uh,
at the end of the day, it's your decision, and you know, that's
mhm.
tough. But talk about that a little bit more too, the family background. I know that's been a kind of a big piece here.
Yeah, so one of the main reasons like I wanted to only play basketball at Carroll is because, my dad, my grandpa, my other grandpa, my uncle, my aunt. I have so many relatives who've gone here. So if I go here, I could really, it might sound weird, but I feel like I have like that spiritual connection, when I get on the court, like these are the people that I'm playing for. Like when I go in Ganfield sometimes to practice, like last year we practiced in Ganfield, I would always think like my grandpa played basketball in this court, like on this court in this building. So I was like really excited to kind of make that connection every time, I would step out there, because family is a huge thing to me. Like, they're like my everything, my whole heart. So, of course, like playing basketball here and having them be able to keep watching me play. Like, I know my uncle and my dad, they make every game. They surprise me when they say they can't come. They're the loudest on the bleachers, which is always not the best thing. Um, but they always surprise me, and just to think about that not being able to happen if I go to college and not play, I was like, well, what the hell? Like, let's do this. Like, I'm gonna go play, and I'm gonna play for myself. I'm gonna play for them. I'm gonna give my grandma some more games to watch for me. Like, I don't want it to be over.
Yeah.
So that's one of the main reasons I also went. Obviously, I went for me too. I didn't want to give up the game. But going for my family, going here for my family to play would be like so cool. And yeah, my grandpa, I always think about him when I'm walking around the campus, because I know he was here just like walking the same sidewalks. And I loved when the monitors were on in Van Mail, because I could search him up through the Hall of Fame, and like I'd always put him on there and I'd leave it there and I'd walk away. Me and my dad would
That's
always do that. When my dad came to the first couple of game days, I was like, "Hey, Grandpa Chuck is on the monitor." He's like, "Yeah, me and Mike put that there. We're gonna leave it there." I was like, "All right, well, let's make this a thing." So if you ever see Chuck Foster, just know that was probably me
that,
or
that
my family.
that's Brooke playing a prank. Good.
Yeah. Oh,
Good.
my brother went here too. I forgot to
Oh,
mention him. But yeah, he graduated from here a couple like 2 years ago. So yeah,
gotcha.
made it a lot easier.
That is the point that you brought up about playing on the same court that your grandpa used to play like actual games on. Like that's got to be a really cool feeling. Just to think about that. And
Yeah.
I remember stories when I was younger about my grandfather playing. He grew up down in Chicago and playing on the same playground courts as some of the NBA superstars that came out of Chicago back in the 70s and the 60s. And so
Wow.
that would be a really cool thing to go back and see too. But um, yeah, no, that the legacy piece is definitely a cool thing, and you can carry on forever.
Yeah, it really gives me a sense of motivation, and it makes me feel more at home.
Good. Yeah. What do you think is probably one of your favorite things about um, your team? I know you guys are going through a lot right now with winter sports and COVID right now. What's one thing that you can take away from this all, like about your team?
This is such a hard question because I love everything about my team. Um, Favorite thing about my team, just the ability we have to like go get through things, get through adversity. Like, especially this year, I feel like our team has, we've gone through a lot, just like any other team in the athletic program, because of the new way we have to live. And we've just overcome that. I think our energy and our attitude towards everything has just eaten up all of the obstacles that are in our way. And another thing too, like, our freshman class is so, we just have four new girls, and they're so great. They fit in so well. And that's another thing I love. When I was a freshman, everybody was so nice and welcoming. Nobody was intimidating, and we do have some intimidating girls. Like, on the court, I know some people like, oh, like Alyssa Cruz, like on the court, she can be pretty intimidating. But let me tell you, that girl is the most loving. Like, she is so always there for you. And it's like you instantly realize that as soon as we do like our first team bonding activity. And that's another thing too, like the ways we've overcome the COVID-19 stuff is like being able to stay connected through virtual things, social distancing things like in the beginning of the year. Um, Stuff like that we can really thank like our coaches for helping put together. And like, but the main thing that I love about my team is that we're just all so, there's nothing like that really can like separate us. I think we're all so welcoming and open to everybody, and we just all love each other. Like, we're one big family, and not all teams are like that. Like, and I'm very thankful that my team is very like, we're so nice to everybody, and I love it. And that really shows on the court too. One person gets down, the other person is going to be there to help each other up. So
Right.
that's something
Yep.
that we really value.
I think everybody could see that too during last year. You guys had really hot stretches and then some stretches where things weren't the best, but you guys
Yeah.
were always right there for each other, and you never saw anybody getting on each other or getting fed up with each other. You all picked each other up when you needed it, and you still and gave it your all each night.
Yeah.
So that's a really cool team
Definitely.
dynamic. Another thing, this is a little bit of an aside here, but I know Coach Schultz really touted this year that you all got registered and you all voted this year as a big team.
Yeah.
So that's really cool that you guys can all say that, one of, not many teams that all did it and all registered and all voted too. So that's a really cool piece to say about your family mentality as well.
Yeah. And the way that everybody like acted upon it and we all worked together to get it done. I really thought that was cool too.
Good. So obviously, talking a little bit about COVID, it was tough for everybody this summer. Um,
Mhm.
Gyms were shut down. People had to stay indoors for a long period of time. What were some of the things that you did this summer to either, I guess, stay in shape physically for this season, but also stay in shape mentally for everything that was going on around you?
Yeah, so this summer was definitely one to remember. There was a lot of things, trial and error. Like, I tried to start so many challenges, like so many things. I did a yoga challenge, like a no bread for 30 days challenge. I would try to get outdoor running done, but there's so many days in a row that I can do that before I just go like, crazy. I need to go to a gym. I need to get a lift in. But the ways that, we all had to be creative this summer, like opened so many doors, in my opinion. Like when I did the yoga challenge, I never stopped. I still do yoga to this day. So that is something that I really took out of this summer that I'm really thankful for. Eating healthier, like obviously it's so easy to just eat all day because you can't see your friends, you can't go out to eat. So it's just so easy to snack on. I think my favorite snack was the Dots pretzels. I don't know if you've tried those. They're like
I
so good.
think, yeah, I think I've seen them around. Yeah.
Me and my mom, we love the veggie sticks, which are just, they're not as healthy as they seem. But no, I definitely have been through my share of snacks. But to stay in shape, I'm lucky to have an outdoor basketball hoop that I would, shoot on. So that was amazing. Um, it was so nice this summer. So I liked going on walks, tanning, of course. I would like lay out to keep my, to get that outdoor fill in, to get the sun and everything. But mentally, I don't know if I read too many books. I know the summer before that, last summer I read a bunch of books. This summer I was just still overwhelmed from finishing this semester virtually.
Yep.
I'm sure every like it was our first time, so it was just kind of lingering. Like I don't even want to look at anything educational.
Yep.
But other than that, I know I did a lot of outside workouts. It was kind of interesting. I discovered a hill. Like I discovered a hill, so I started running hills like twice a week. Um, Stuff like that. I just got real creative with my workouts.
Cool. Yeah. So you stay ready
Yeah.
all the time.
Of
So,
course, I had my share of off days as
oh,
well.
yeah, you gotta have those. Gotta mix those in.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned a lot of really good things to keep your mind active and keep you busy, keep your mind off things. What I guess those included, or like what's a positive that you were able to take out of this summer? That now that you have all these things that you say, yeah, I do that, and I still do that to this day.
Yeah, the yoga that I do. So on YouTube, I started doing yoga with Adrienne. She's just a yoga instructor and she posts her videos on YouTube. So I started following along and she has an at-home 30-day challenge. So I was like, perfect. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to do this. They're just yoga sessions every day. And honestly, it is so effective. It helped my breathing. It helped with like my like meditating like helped my like mentality and like not trying to go stir crazy and stuff like that. Obviously it helps stretching and things like that. They're definitely beneficial. But yeah, so I still do yoga to this day. Um I'm so happy that I got into it because I love it. And I don't know. I don't know any other like things I've taken away. I guess that I'm really like grateful for like the life that we used to have, and if we ever go back, then like we're all gonna have a new perspective, and we're all gonna be so thankful, and it's just gonna be like a different like world after this is all over, because we'll all have experienced this and be like, we're so grateful now, like let's be happy type thing.
Yeah, as I was gonna say, like grateful for the time that we get to, go to concerts, go to stuff like Summerfest or festivals, fairs, stuff like that we couldn't do this.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that was so sad to miss the Wisconsin State Fair.
yeah, yeah, I was looking forward to that this year. But no, I agree. I mean, I for me, I wish I would have gotten into something like yoga because I got into golf this summer, which was really
Okay.
helpful being outside. But if you know anything about golf, it's expensive, and so. But no, this summer was fun because I got the chance to do more outside and um, really find yourself and find
Yeah.
myself and figure out like what's gonna make me happy instead of sitting on the couch watching TV for 10 hours a day. So
Yeah. Golf, I went golfing twice actually this summer. I didn't actually like golf. I liked driving the golf cart. That's my thing.
yep,
But the I like being outside. Like I totally understand like going outside, whether you're walking, I mean that's good too. But like it's so beautiful. The golf courses are so beautiful. I didn't even That's something I realized. I didn't even know they were so
yep,
awesome. Like yeah.
cool, awesome. Well, got that stuff out of the way. So, as I mentioned, we have Thanksgiving coming up here shortly within 2 weeks. So, I thought we'd play a little game of Thanksgiving this or that. So, I'll list off two main dishes from Thanksgiving, and you can tell me your favorite and why, and what would you rather pick.
Okay.
Okay. So for the main course, we have turkey or ham.
Oh, okay. I like ham, but I
Yep.
would rather have turkey for Thanksgiving dinner.
Me too.
Oh, a
Yep.
nice slice of hot ham is so good. I honestly might like it better than turkey, but for Thanksgiving, it's got to be turkey or no deal.
It's got to be the classic. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
turkey.
only get people only take one or two times a year to eat turkey. You got to eat it on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, especially turkey with gravy on it. Ooh,
Yep.
there you go.
Game changer.
Mhm.
Um, Next for a side dish, we have mashed potatoes or green bean casserole
I do love mashed potatoes, but because my grandma makes green bean casserole in the world, green bean casserole.
for the win. Okay, interesting. See, I didn't even start like liking mashed potatoes until a couple of years ago. It was weird. I had a weird taste palette growing up as a kid, but um, no, mashed potatoes all day for me. I'm sure I got a lot of family members who would choose green bean casserole, because it's that the grandma made or the mom made
Yeah.
stuff. But
I like mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes are so good. I eat those a lot. I feel like my mom makes those a lot for homemade dinners.
good. All right. For a dessert, we have pumpkin pie or cheesecake. And I couldn't think of a different dessert other than pumpkin pie, so I think this one might be a winner. But
Pumpkin pie all the way. Funny
yep,
story about this. Ever since September, me and my roommates have been buying pumpkin pies like once a week.
really,
Yeah, I think we are the reason they're always out at Myers. We stock up on pumpkin pies. We love pumpkin pie, all of us. We get a pumpkin pie slice like every other night.
oh,
And I'm upset. They got me pumpkin pie for my birthday, and I
oh,
think that's when it started. So, because they know I like pumpkin pie a lot. So when they said like I said, don't give me a cake, but I will take pumpkin pie. So ever since then, we've just been getting pumpkin pie ever since. So I'm
that,
hoping that it never ends.
that's funny. I don't think I've ever had pumpkin pie anytime outside the month of November. So that'd
Oh,
be it'd be weird for me to get used to at first, but that sounds really good.
oh, it's so good. I love it.
So this one is a hot topic among a lot of families come Thanksgiving. Cranberries. Do you eat them out of the canned cranberries, or do you go for natural?
I'm canned. I'm
Canned?
on team canned. Yep.
The
I like
uh,
the canned ones.
my father is a canned man, and everybody else fights against him on Thanksgiving, but he
Oh,
sticks to it. No, I don't actually. If I had to pick, I would probably go natural, just like regular. But I don't know. I don't know if I've ever tried canned cranberries. We'll have
I
to
don't
see
know if
this
I've
year.
ever tried natural.
Really.
Yeah, it's always canned. That's
Well,
interesting.
there's another challenge for you. You can challenge
Interesting.
yourself to try that this Thanksgiving.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. All right. Well, that's kind of all I had for this week's episode. Brooke, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Um, if you're watching, hang in there. We're all in this together. The best thing to do is have an awesome attitude about it and just be thankful that we're here. And thank you, Sam, for having me.
Absolutely.
It's
Thanks for
good
coming
to be
on.
back. Yeah.
It's good to have you back. Thanks for coming on, taking the time out of your day to do this. So
Yeah, of course.
awesome. Thanks, Brooke. Go Pios.
Go Pios!